Hey everybody, it's Jason and welcome back to my channel. This is the 9th video in a series documenting the rebuilding of a 1987 Honda XL600R. In today's video, we're going to take this freshly rebuilt and repainted engine and put it into this freshly painted and cleaned up frame. If you enjoy these videos, I would ask that you please subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps my channel grow. All right, let's get to it. This is all the engine mounting hardware. I've been soaking it in washing vinegar, 10% vinegar, for about an hour now, just to kind of give it a little cleanup. I'm going to take it out, take it over to the wire brush, and give it all a good clean. And maybe some of these other components, I'll give them a rub down with some steel wool and just make them shine just a little bit. They don't have to be spotless, but you know, if I'm going to this much trouble, I might as well make them nice. So once I clean them up, I'm throwing them in this this bath of baking soda and water just to neutralize the acid. Now I'm going to start cleaning up these bolts. I'll hit these on the wire wheel and just give them a quick cleanup. Okay, so everything's been neutralized. Just give them a quick wipe down. Yeah, see, cleaner. I'm not going to put them back on like that. So I use this stuff WD-40 with the Big Blast. It's a nice wide spray and it just covers everything. And I just soak it, you know. You can't really put too much on. All right. Once it comes out of the acid and the base, it's a little bit kind of raw. I mean, you want to protect it as best you can. You don't want it to just rust immediately. So that's all I do. So I just soak it down. I'll just cover it up for a little bit. Make sure everything's well coated. And let that sit for just a short period of time. And then we'll start fitting it into the frame. All right, we got my painted components gathered. And now here's all of this stuff. So the reason I like to do this is just to make sure that I've got everything, and that I have it ready so I'm not searching for stuff when I'm trying to bolt the engine in. One of the first things I guess we should cover before we get too far into this is that you have to put the engine in from the right side of the bike. The reason being is that this particular mount is sort of cut away so that the engine can go in. The engine is a really tight fit, by the way. And then once the engine is in, then you have to build kind of the support for this mount. And you can't do it from the other side. You just can't do it. It won't go in. Okay. I'm not going to tighten everything up. You get the idea. But I'm going to put everything in place. Right below that is another mount, just a single bolt. Okay, this front mount is again has to be put in after the engine has been installed. So it again, very simple, 2 bolts, hold it in place. And then a slightly larger bolt will go through the front engine mount and hold it in place there. Then right underneath that is the largest bolt, so it goes through. There's a little spacer here painted the same color as the engine, it passes through its nut. We're almost there. Okay, the last mount is this one here. It goes into the frame, across the top, and then it catches into the valve cover on the top of the engine. Once again, it has to be put in after the engine is in place. And then this bolt passes through there. Cool. All right, so that's all of the components for the engine mount. I've got everything, it's all cleaned up, and I'm ready to put her in. All right, we're getting closer and closer. So I've taken out all of the hardware for the engine mounts, and what I'm gonna do is just slip a piece of cardboard in here to protect the paint on the bottom. Now this is kind of risky because I can't remember if I'll be able to get that cardboard out easily, but I'm pretty sure with a little bit of time and effort, it does come out. Just gotta save that paint. And the other thing is I take a piece of cardboard and I will wrap it around this part of the frame because the lugs on the exhaust are very hard on this. So I wanna protect it as best we can. Okay, now for the heavy work. These engines are really heavy and quite awkward. If you're not confident, you should probably get help. I probably should have got help, but there was nobody around, so I just did it myself. I like to take a cable tie, just hold these wires in place so they don't slip out at a very inopportune moment. Like I say, this engine's quite heavy, and the last thing you want to be doing is fighting with stuff that's in the way. Just tuck that over there like that. And I've also learned that having the kick start mounted gives you a really convenient grip should you need it in putting this thing in. Okay, here we go. So what you want to do is you want to put the engine in bottom first. So you're going to tip it back towards you, more than you probably are comfortable with. You're going to set it into the frame, and then you just stand it up straight. You just have to be careful because these lugs that hold in the exhaust can kind of hang you up, and there's a fair bit of fiddling around, but eventually it will get in. Sometimes it goes easy, sometimes not so much. Let's give her a shot, see how it goes. Let's sort of rotate her around. It'll go. Once you get the base of the engine into the frame, you want to pay close attention to the rear mount at the bottom. You want to just drop the engine as best you can right into its little opening, and once it's in there, the engine should just stand up and go right into place. I like to start with this one back here. Unfortunately, there's really no easy way to get you a good camera angle on this. So just gonna put it in the front mount. So you put that piece in, slide it through. Just gotta wiggle the engine just a little bit. There we go. That goes in. Cardboard can come out now. See, this comes right out. Ta-da! I think I put this on upside down when I showed you the first time, but I mean, it only fits on the bike one way, right? And with that, my friends, the engine is installed. Remember in the last video, I told you I was only going to put the shock in finger tight because the airbox is a little bit easier to install that way. Well, I'm going to do that right now. So here's the no-nonsense way of putting in the airbox. Okay, you put it in sideways so the air filter opening is up. Okay, you just kind of fish it around like so, nice and easy. Okay, then when you get it in so far, you're going to run into this flap here on the back being in the way, and all you have to do is help that flap around the frame, and bango, she's in place. Before you tighten in that airbox, shock in like so. Okay, that's going to close out this episode. I know it doesn't maybe seem like much, just dropping the engine in the frame, but to me, it's a turning point, and it's a big deal. So it's also a bit of a handful if you don't know what you're doing. So hopefully this helps you if you're going through this. Same with the airbox. You know, it's really not that hard, but you just have to know which way it goes in and the little tricks. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, I would very much appreciate you subscribing. And I will have something for you next weekend, I promise. Bye for now.